What's going on, guys? I'm Commander RestlessCorpse. Welcome back to Elite Dangerous. Now, I had something that I wanted to talk about today that was more relevant to gaming. Unfortunately, last night, I got a text right when I was done streaming some episodes of the other stuff. And we'll get to that in a second because I don't want to end this video on a bad note. That made me kind of wonder what the hell was going on. And then just before I started recording this, I saw something that was trending on Twitter. A lot of you probably know that I live in Milwaukee, and right now the hashtag Milwaukee Unrest is trending on Twitter. I don't know where it's trending right now. I don't know if it's at the top or nothing or whatever, but it was at the top just a second ago when I looked. So I got a text last night from a friend of mine who lives in Seattle, who I'm actually going to be staying with when we go to PAX at the end of this month. And she asked if I was okay, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" And she said there was some stuff going down that she heard about in Milwaukee, and she wanted to make sure that I was okay. So I was super tired because it was like 4 in the morning when I saw it. It was a couple hours after she sent it, and I quick looked to see what the hell was going on. And I was tired, so I didn't read the article. But today, I saw the hashtag, and I clicked on it, and I was reading through a lot of the tweets. So here's the deal. Before we get into it, I want to preface this by saying that I know that there is a lot of police hate in America right now. Like, everybody's shitting on the police. There's this Black Lives Matter bullshit going on, which... we'll get into that in a second as well. And I hope I don't lose any of you guys' support from this this video, but I doubt it, because I have a feeling that majority of people feel the same way that I do. But so what happened was the police last night, I guess, stopped someone. Found out that he was armed. I don't know what the exchange was, but he ended up running, and they chased him. I don't know what else happened after that, but they shot this man. They killed this man, this thug who was armed and not complying with the police. They gave him, warnings, and he was not complying. Oh, I need to get out of here. I'm too busy talking to you guys. He was non-compliant. And they shot him. This caused an absolute shitstorm in Milwaukee. One of the tweets that I saw just before starting here said something about this reminds them a lot of Ferguson, but it's way worse. Now, if you guys don't know, maybe you don't live in America. I know I have a lot of viewers in other parts of the world. Ferguson was the thing where a cop killed a young black man, and there was a resulting shitstorm with rioting and whatnot, or protesting, not rioting. But here in Milwaukee, it turned into rioting. That night, last night, after this happened, there was an absolute riot in downtown Milwaukee. Businesses were burnt down. Automatic gunfire was going off all over the place. Right now, the riot police are out there, and all of their, I guess it's been going on for at least, I'm assuming it's right now because there's like Periscope videos and stuff on Twitter that are still going. But they're pre-recorded, and they were uploaded a couple hours ago. But regardless, it happened. Probably going on right now. I'm not real sure. I didn't want to I didn't want to postpone making to tomorrow's video by reading all of this stuff, because there's a ridiculous amount of stuff to read about it. So right now there are protesters and rioters, and the riot police are out there, and these people are throwing things at them. Cops are getting hurt. There's fighting. Guys, listen. First of all, here's the deal. The Black Lives Matter people are out there causing problems, okay? Now I'm in the all lives matter camp, but I try to stay out of all the politics and stuff, and I don't really generally give my opinion on things like this because I don't want to cause drama and, you know, get into arguments with people online and whatnot. But I don't give a shit what the color of your skin is. Everybody's life matters. Yes, but there are laws in this country, and if you break those laws, then you need to be punished. Now, like I said, the guy was non-compliant and he was shot. But here's the kicker. So the Black Lives Matter people are orchestrating all of this, right? They're out there doing protests and being violent with the riot police. The guy that was shot was black. There's pictures all over the internet of this guy with his gun pointed at the camera. He looks like a complete and total thug. But the thing is, the cop that shot him is black. Like, this is not a case of a white cop, you know, treating a black kid unfairly. They were both black. Like, how does this even fall under Black Lives Matter at all? But that's not the point. The point is, there's some crazy shit going on in Milwaukee, right? Did I even check the system? Yeah, I did. The point is, there's crazy shit going on right now. People are people are like saying that we need to get the National Guard out here. They're saying that all of these people are terrorists. And just in my personal observation, they're attacking the police officers, which is a fucking felony. You don't assault a police officer, especially not a riot police officer. In all the pictures and videos that I've seen, they're just standing there with their shields up in a line. They're not fighting back. They're not advancing. You know, there was another video of a police officer getting hurt from something that somebody threw, and the only real movement I saw was other police officers grabbing that officer and pulling him to safety. Listen, all right, here's the deal. One thing you need to know about me. First of all, and this is kind of unrelated, but sort of related, I'm a very patriotic person. I love my country with all of its flaws and all of its faults. I am a very patriotic American person. Now, that doesn't mean that I think that the government does everything correctly all the time. Like, I've just like any other patriot or true patriotic American, I know that our system is flawed, and we, as a democratic people, are supposed to be there to keep that, you know, working correctly. Rioting is not the way to do it. But let's talk about rioting for a second, because it happens. It happens all over the world. And anytime I think of rioters and looters and people destroying things because they're upset and things like this, the one thing that always goes through my mind is I believe 99% of the people in these riots don't give a shit about what happened to make them riot. They don't give a fucking goddamn. They just see it as an excuse to go out there and break shit. Maybe they've always wanted to burn down a business that has nothing to do with it because all the businesses were closed. They just burned them down. They, you know, fucking set them on fire, burned them down. Maybe they just feel like they want to burn something down, but they don't because it's illegal and they'll get in trouble, right? But then something like this happens, and it's quote-unquote time to riot, and they see that as, holy shit, let's go do it. They're never going to know who it was. There's a whole fucking, like, city of people pissed off and doing things like this. How are they going to pick one person or two people or three people out? So it's their free pass to go be absolute assholes, right? So that's what's going on in my city right now. Luckily, I live a little bit farther away from the city, so I don't have to worry. Like, I'm in another city, like a smaller suburb city. I don't have to worry about this. It's not spilling over. It's not it's not affecting me other than on this intellectual and emotional level. Like, it sucks. It sucks to me that police are now scrutinized and treated worse than criminals for doing their job. You see what I'm saying? Now, let's take a look at being a police officer in general. At one point, a while back, many years ago, I actually thought about doing it. I ended up not doing it because whatever. I don't want to be. I mean, I wanted to be a police officer. I was thinking about it. I didn't necessarily want to be it. There was also a time where I wanted to go into the military. I was actually in ROTC in school. Like, if I had finished ROTC and went into the military, you know, that's kind of what I wanted to do at the time. But I didn't finish it. I didn't go into the military, and I regret it to this day because being almost 36 now, I'll be 36 in September, I would have been out for a really long time. You know, I would have been out, I would have served my time, and I would be a veteran. But whatever. Police officers, and this sounds cliche because people say it all the goddamn time, but police officers are out there risking their lives, guys. Yes, there are some bad police officers. I get that. We make movies about it. That's, I mean, there are bad police officers. There are police officers that are sadistic and want to hurt people, yes. But it's such a small amount. It's such a small amount. Most of the people out there are doing their job. You see what I'm saying? Like the guy that shot the person here in Milwaukee last night. He was doing his job. The guy that was killed had a weapon. He was armed. He had a gun. And he was not complying with the officers. Now, here's the deal, and why I brought up police officers are risking their lives. Especially now in America, it is very dangerous to be a police officer. People are, you know, this Black Lives Matter thing is happening, and there are people killing police officers just for something that happened a year or 2 years ago in Ferguson, or, you know, whatever, all the way back since like fucking Rodney King. That whole bullshit where those asshole police officers got what they... I don't remember. I think they didn't get what they deserved, to be honest. But my memory is a little bit hazy on that, because they very well should have all been thrown in prison. But, so it's very dangerous to be a police officer right now. Now, that being said, every traffic stop, every, you know, call that they go on, I can't even scoop this, I don't know why I'm doing that, is a potential for someone who is pissed off and just wants to kill a cop to kill them for no reason other than they just want to kill a cop, and they're gonna mask it behind, you know, the Black Lives Matter bullshit. So cops are on edge. It's scary. You know, if somebody has a gun, the basic human instinct is to defend yourself, right? But cops have rules, right? But when someone is pointing a gun at you, are you going to sit there and in your mind go over all the reasons, or like all of the rules and regulations, or are you going to defend yourself? You see what I'm saying? And sometimes cops, they have to make a split decision, and sometimes that decision is wrong. Much like the pretty recently, within the last month or two, the guy that was pulled over and told the police officer, it wasn't here, but he told the police officer they had a gun, and was he was told to get his license and registration, and he did what he was supposed to do because he took a class on it. He was legally able to carry a gun, to conceal and carry, and what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to inform the officer that you have a weapon, and that's what he did. And the cop shot him when he was going for his license and registration, and that guy died. Now that was a bad situation, and that was a terrible, terrible, terrible choice that cop made. But I watched the video, and I read a whole bunch of articles on it, but the most telling evidence is that I watched the video. Now, this lady was streaming it to Facebook or some shit, the person in the passenger seat, the entire time. And when the other police officers showed up, like, first of all, she was screaming, like, I can't believe you shot him, and blah, blah, blah. And the cop was on the verge of tears. Like, you could tell in his voice that he was scared. He had adrenaline going through his body, and he was freaking out. That does not sound like, to me, like someone who just wants to kill someone. That sounds to me like someone who is like, oh my God, what the fuck have I just done? This is terrible. And then after, when the rest of the police came and they got her out of the car, and they told her to put her phone down, so she put it down, but she didn't stop. It wasn't done. It didn't stop streaming, so you could hear everything that was going on. The cop that shot the man continued to have a breakdown. Like, you could tell right off the bat, he knew he fucked up, and he was not happy about it. He wasn't bragging that he shot somebody. He was freaking out. And Black Lives Matter took it and ran with it and labeled this man a horrible person who needed to be executed or thrown in prison or whatever. So this is a problem. Like, cops now have to not only decide what is best for themselves to not die, but now they also have to worry about what's going to happen if they defend themselves. And it's absolutely terrible, and I fucking hate it. But to get back to the point, Milwaukee is crazy right now. All right, there's riots, there's people burning things down, there's people attacking the police, which is I don't know. I don't know why. Oh, actually, I do know why, but I'll say it anyway. I don't know why the police don't just arrest everyone. But the reason I say I do know why is because they're thinking about how if they arrest all these people, it's going to start even more of a shitstorm. And they shouldn't have to think about that. These people are breaking the law. The police should arrest them. But they can't, because politics, because Black Lives Matter. It's terrible, guys. It's absolutely terrible. And talking about this, I've already forgot about what the hell else I was going to talk about when I said that I didn't want to end the video on a bad note. But I am going to tell you the plan of the video today was to talk about No Man's Sky and how it compares to Elite Dangerous after me putting several hours into it, and how I don't believe that Elite Dangerous really has anything to worry about in respect of No Man's Sky, like blowing it away or anything, because, and it's not because No Man's Sky isn't good, because it's amazing. For me, anyway, I believe it's absolutely amazing. But the reason Elite doesn't need to worry about it is because they're not the same type of game. You see what I'm saying? But we're not going to get into that. Maybe I'll save that for tomorrow. But speaking of No Man's Sky, yesterday, the first episode of my No Man's Sky Let's Play did go up. If you want to check that out, see what I'm talking about, it's the first episode's up on the channel. The second episode will be going up later today. In any case, guys, once again, I'm sorry that I left it on a sour note, because there was something else that I wanted to talk, say at the end of the video that I just don't remember now. But anyway, if you like this video, guys, go and hit that like button. If you want to see more videos of Elite Dangerous or any of the other videos that I've done, go and hit that subscribe button. If you have anything to say, throw it down in the comments or hit me up on Twitter. Let me know what you think about this. But please, guys, I want to say, if you don't agree with me with the whole Black Lives Matter thing, or police, or, you know, the fact that I consider myself a patriotic American, don't leave hate in the comments, guys. Let's keep it civil, okay? I'm confident that you guys and my viewers in general aren't like that and don't want to just start fights and whatnot, but it still needs to be said, please keep it civil. Anyway, thank you for watching, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Eject. 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 Eject.